Hey guys, welcome back to Baby Back Maniac. Today we are gonna hang ribs in the Lone Star Grillz warming oven. This is something I do every now and then. I really enjoy cooking like this, and every time I post a picture of this on Instagram or even mention the Lone Star Grillz in a video, people ask for more information on this, and I understand that, because when I was shopping for a cooker, that was one of the things I couldn't find a lot of information on. So I thought what I'd do today is I would do a brief walkthrough of some of the questions that I couldn't get answered about this when I was thinking about buying it, and then I'd do tomorrow, which will be like in 4 minutes your time, I'll do a cook where I show you how I hang ribs in it, similar to what you would do in like a drum or like a Weber Smokey Mountain if you took the water pan out. It's just a fun way to cook. I really enjoy it, but for now I want to show you my warming oven. My warming oven? My warming oven. All right, guys, before I forget, thanks to Lone Star Grillz for sponsoring this video. And again, thanks for you guys for giving me these ideas of what to do in a video. I really appreciate it. Please keep them coming. To start off with, this is the Lone Star Grillz warming oven. It's about 24 inches tall, 24 inches deep, and about 22.5 inches, whatever this direction is. That was, you know, one of the questions I had. It's roughly the same size as the firebox, which is really, really nice. It's got 2 butterfly dampers on the side. If you adjust them on both sides, in order to open them, you push them forward, which is really nice. It's easier to remember that, especially in the dark. It's got a really nice Tell True thermometer. All this is 1/4 inch steel, and it's got a cool touch handle. I'm just going through a few of these things for those that haven't seen this before. You can find most of this information on Lone Star Grillz website though. One of the questions that I had a hard time finding the answer to was the distance between these grates. First off, there's 3 pull-out grates. I should start there. And they're very, very sturdy. That didn't make it sound like they're sturdy, but they're sturdy. You could jump up and down on these. You will not have any problems, and they pull out just as easy. Mine has additional hooks for hanging, which one of the great things about Lone Star Grillz is they come out really easy if you don't want to use them. But one of the great things about Lone Star Grillz is they will gladly customize your pit however you want to, which is really, really nice. There's 5 1/4 inches on my pit between the lower grate and the upper grate. So if you're trying to fit stuff, that's how much clearance you have. 5 1/4 inch here, and then about 8 1/2 inches between the top grate and the top of the cooker, but you probably wouldn't want anything coming up that high because I would imagine it'd be hotter at the top. But you can always pull one of these grates out if you need to cook something that's taller. As far as what fits, this was another one of the questions that I had. These are 2 of the 9x13 pans. They fit easily, but that's about all that you're going to be able to fit per shelf. So you have room for 6 of them. The longer pans, I forget what they're called, hotel pans or half hotel pans or whatever they are, the 21x13. You can only fit 1 per shelf, which is, you know, it is what it is. But it's a question I had, so I thought you guys might find that interesting. Below there's a heavy duty removable butterfly dampered deflector that sits there and diverts that heat, most of the heat, through the main chamber, but you can open up that damper and allow more heat into the warming oven, which is super nice. But what I like to do is remove it completely, because it's designed to do that. And if you ever had any doubt about how stout 1/4 inch steel is, this will convince you. It is heavy. It is very heavy. I pull that out and I cook direct in this mug, and I enjoy the crap out of it. One of my favorite things to cook is ribs, like I'm going to do tomorrow for you guys. Again, it's coming up in just about 1.5 minutes. But I also like to cook chicken direct. I'll lay it out on these grates and let it drip into the fire. Gives you an amazing smell, amazing flavor that's very, very unique. If you cook in a drum, if you like cooking in a drum, you already know what I'm talking about. And you can probably see by some of the stuff I'm showing you why that would be of value. I've also done a reverse seared steak. This is an idea I got from Ballistic Barbecue. He did a video on this where I smoked at 225, 250 until the internal of the temp got to about 115 degrees. And then I took it off the top shelf and seared right here directly over the fire using grill grates. And it was one of the best steaks I've ever had in my life. And that is not hyperbole. Ooh, yeah. Anyways, this is a brief walkthrough of the warming oven, what it is and what it's for. Let's get to the ribs, which for me will be tomorrow. For you will be right now. Welcome back, guys. Happy smoke day. I love cooking ribs. I get so excited on the days I get to cook ribs. Let me show you what we're working with here. These are just spare ribs. You can do this exact same thing with baby back ribs and they'll cook a little bit faster, but today we are using St. Louis cut spare ribs. All I did was remove the membrane off the back. If you're lucky, it'll peel off like a piece of tape. Spare ribs are a little trickier than baby back ribs, but these came off pretty easily. And then I layered on a layer of this John Henry pecan rub, which is one of the ones we've been using in our family forever. It's great. A lot of people here in Texas love it. I'll put a link to that in the description box below if you want to check it out. Then after that, it's just a matter of putting the hooks on, and that can be intimidating the first time, but it's actually pretty easy. Just flip them over on the back and on the thickest side of the ribs, feel down till you find the spot between the second and third rib, and then push that hook through right there, and you will have no problems at all. All right, let's go outside and I'll show you how I set up the cooker. All right, guys, I gotta do this quick because it's about to start raining, because of course it is. It's a baby back Maniac video. It seems to always rain when I do this, but the way I have this set up, I pulled out all of the cooking grates. I pulled out that deflector plate with the butterfly damper. Still heavy, in case you're wondering. I'm using the charcoal basket. Now, this charcoal basket is not entirely necessary. It's just kind of nice to have. I've done it both ways. I wouldn't buy the charcoal basket just to cook like this, but it is nice to be able to keep all your fire together easier. So I'm using that today, and I've pulled out the S plates that come with the charcoal basket because I want it to burn from the middle out so that those ribs will drip in to that smoke and create that characteristic of cooking over hot coals that we all know and love. So now this fire is already lit. Once it gets close to about 250 degrees on this dial, which by the way, the placement of this dial is pretty good. It's pretty accurate. I've tested it against my Maverick and I'm comfortable using this. Once this gets to about 250 degrees, I'm gonna start closing down the vents. And then when I get to my target temp, which is gonna be 300 degrees plus or minus 25 degrees, I will close the lower vent to about maybe 2 nickels width. I mean, it's just not that far open at all, and do the same with these top vents, and that should hold that perfect 275 to 300 degrees the entire length of the cook, and that is when we will hang the ribs. But for now, I gotta get out of this rain before it messes up my camera. So it's about an hour and a half into this cook. We're probably getting to the halfway point. As you can see, we got smoke rolling. Now, one thing about this style of cooking, as that grease drips into the fire, you're gonna get a lot of that white smoke. That is not the same as the critic smoke that you often get when you have wood that's not burning cleanly. So if you see that, don't worry about it. That's just part of the process. Anybody who's ever cooked in a drum can tell you that's part of it. But anyway, smoke is rolling. It smells great. I am so excited about this. Let's take a look at these ribs. I think you're gonna like what you see. So the ribs are done. It's been 3 hours. It almost took exactly 3 hours actually for them to get done. They look great. I have them sauced up. I can't wait to tear into them, but everything I use, the sauce, the rubs, all the toys that I played with or mentioned will be listed in the description box below. Y'all go check out Lone Star Grillz. One thing I want to say though is the purpose of this video is not to talk you into getting the warming oven. It's just to let you know kind of what it's capable of. This is a luxury, but not a necessity. And I was talking to Chris, the owner of Lone Star Grillz, about this, and he's like, yes, that's exactly the way I see it. And make sure you tell them, if you get the warming oven, then you won't be able to get the 1/2-inch griddle that usually comes on top of the firebox. So it's a trade-off. This isn't going to be for everyone, but if you're someone who you think will use the warming oven, this is just a chance to show you some of the flexibility and versatility that you can have in your Lone Star pit, if that makes sense. All right, let's take a bite of these. Look at that. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's unbelievable. It's so good. Oh my gosh, y'all. All right, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. These are insane. These are so good. There's something about that flavor of that rib dripping into the fire and smoking its way out. I mean, you saw the smoke. It makes a lot of smoke, but it doesn't over smoke. Now, I will say this. These are the type of ribs that you take that first bite or two and you're like, oh my gosh, these are the best ribs I've ever had in my life. They're also the kind of ribs like where after you've had them a couple days in a row, you're kind of okay going back to like a less smoky flavored rib. Now, with that said, these are perfect. These are the best I've ever made in the warming box, maybe in the whole daggum pit. I'm not kidding. These are so good. I can't wait to feed the animals inside. I know they're hungry. But y'all, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.